Nigerians have called for the diversification of our economy, making most of Nigeria's richest natural resources. For the next 30 minutes, take a close-up look at the path toward maximizing our country's richest resources and a vision for a bright new future for Nigeria. Oil and gas, working for all Nigeria.
That the future of Nigeria is extremely bright. That Nigerians can do it, and more to the point, that with our combined cumulative effort, that Nigerians will indeed do it. That we will take ourselves to the next level and beyond in terms of our economy. That we will become a country that is used as a measuring stick for other countries, not just in this region, but beyond. And that Nigerians everywhere will once again be able to hold their heads up with pride at their country and their countrymen, their economy and their leadership.
The work ahead is critical for the future of Nigeria.
Every Nigerian will be touched by the rewards and the proceeds from the oil and gas sector, and that is our intent.
Because the development of Nigerian gas and oil are at the center of our country's standing and our interests in the international economic community. As our country's history-making Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs Diezani Allison Madueke, works to advance industrialization in the oil and gas sector, and her first concern is always for the people of Nigeria.
The entire gas industrialization program should produce for this country up to 1 million jobs over the next 3 to 4 years. That is absolutely incredible. And all this has been done with the strong support and direction of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
In less than a year, Mrs Diezani Allison Madueke has made gas industrialization a key priority for the fortunes of Nigeria. As the Minister of Petroleum Resources appointed by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Mrs Allison Madueke has helped change the face of Nigeria's oil and gas sector for the good of the country. In the gas sector, President Jonathan has empowered the Honorable Minister to aggressively pursue implementation of sweeping reforms in Nigerian gas pricing. Gas-to-power pricing has been revised to more sustainable commercial levels in order to provide incentives for sustained gas supply development and growth.
Under President Goodluck Jonathan's very strong directive, we at the Ministry of Petroleum Resources have ensured that the scourge of fuel scarcity has become a thing of the past. We have shown that it is possible for Nigeria to have sustainable and continuous fuel supply.
For the long-term benefit for all Nigeria, the administration of President Jonathan is actively carrying forward the critical goals of the Nigerian Gas Master Plan. Its 3 key strategies are to stimulate the multiplier effect of gas in the domestic economy, to position Nigeria competitively in high-value export markets, and to guarantee the long-term energy security of Nigeria.
Some time ago, as we came in over the last few months, we looked at the gas pricing regimes, gas to industry and gas to power, with particular emphasis, of course, on gas to power. And this was to ensure that the suppliers of gas, the operators who supply the gas for the purposes of power, got an adequate cost regime that they were comfortable with and that would give them an adequate return on their investment. And they were very pleased with it. It has therefore ensured that we will be able to create sustainability in the supply of gas for power. And of course, that is critical, underlying all that we do in this economy, because we must, of course, increase and stabilize our power supply.
President Jonathan's team has overseen bold steps to lead gas reforms. Pricing from gas suppliers to wholesale and local distribution companies has been revised. The framework for a negotiated pricing arrangement between those companies and end-user manufacturing industries is being implemented. And new pricing arrangements will incentivize supply growth by the upstream suppliers, assuring availability of gas for the manufacturing sector. This in turn will create the platform for sustained economic growth in Nigeria.
Our intention, of course, is to create a strategic framework to enable Nigerians really and truly begin to harness and enjoy the proceeds of the natural resource that is under their feet.
Over the past year, under President Jonathan, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources has made great strides in implementing world-class bankable gas supply agreements for the Nigerian market. Negotiations for these agreements have progressed aggressively with the Power Holding Company of Nigeria and with the Niger Delta Power Holding Company of Nigeria.
For the first time in history, created gas supply purchase agreements, also to stabilize and ensure that the suppliers of gas had no hindrance whatsoever. We put in place securitization for these gas payments along with the World Bank, which guarantees every supplier of gas that no matter what happens, they will be paid for the gas that they supply. We have brought back confidence into the area of gas supply and sustainability.
And the administration under President Jonathan is leading a major gas-based industrialization agenda for Nigeria. Binding agreements have been signed to build 1 world-scale petrochemical plant, 2 world-scale fertilizer plants, 5 fertilizer blending plants, a methanol plant, and a liquefied petroleum gas distribution plant.
We have signed.
Acting Chairman EFCC Ibrahim Mustapha Magu identified corruption as the reason the country has been unable to transform its rich natural and human resource endowment into prosperity. He stressed that the challenge of corruption the country was facing calls for the collaboration of all stakeholders, particularly women.
Today's ceremony is the climax of many months of toil by stakeholders drawn from various ministries, departments, and agencies, underlining the fact that everyone is affected by the corruption cankerworm, and there is no monopoly of ideas on how to root it out of Nigeria forever. Ladies and gentlemen, the project which we are about to flag up this morning is unique. It's a unique initiative of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, designed to mobilize Nigerian women to become active change agents in the important national agenda to reclaim our nation from the grips of corruption. Nigerians have come to the realization that corruption is at the center of all our developmental challenges. It is the reason the country has been unable to transform its rich natural and human resources endowment into prosperity. It is the reason for endemic and embarrassing poverty in the midst of plenty. We certainly cannot continue this way. It is time to break with the past and deliver hope to future generations. We at the EFCC are convinced that the power to change the destiny of our nation lies in the hands of women.
The anti-corruption czar highlighted the roles expected of women in the war against corruption, to include the need for personal integrity and transparency, practice of a simple lifestyle, among others.
President Muhammad Buhari, many years ago, reminded us about this sacred duty when he said, and I quote, "This generation of Nigerians, and indeed future generations, have no other countries than Nigeria. We shall remain here and salvage it together," unquote. We all have equal stakes in the survival and rebuilding of Nigeria. A number of our compatriots tend to view the war on corruption as President Muhammad Buhari's project or as the EFCC war. But we at the EFCC cannot claim to have a monopoly of knowledge on how to win the war against corruption, which is critical to the Nigerian project. That is why we seek the partnership and participation of everyone in this battle. The choice of women as a torchbearer in this important crusade is informed by the vital role they play in making society a better place.
He said, beyond the official flag-off of the project in Abuja, the advocacy will be taken to the zones, states, and local government levels for effective grassroots mobilization and mass participation.